remove her from court, where she was making a nuisance of herself, her father had bowed to the task gracefully. Edda had not. She resented being tied to a man who held only a barony and had seemed to take an instant dislike to Evelinde on reaching Domsbury. It hadn't been so bad at first. With the presence of Evelinde's father and her brother Alexander, Edda had at least behaved cordially to her. However, Alexander had ridden off to join the Crusades with Prince Edward 3 years earlier, while the prince had since returned and been crowned king on his father's death. Alexander was still in Tunis. Worse yet, no sooner had he left than their father died of a chest complaint. James Domsbury hadn't even been placed in the family crypt before Edda dropped any pretense at civility and let her true feelings show. These last 3 years had been a hell Evelinde feared she would never escape. Her only hope was to await her brother's homecoming so that he might see her married and settled far away from the woman. Unfortunately, Alexander seemed in no rush to return. "I have decided 'tis well past time you married," Edda announced, "and the king agrees with me." "She means the king decided you should marry, and she was forced to agree," Mildred muttered behind her low enough that Edda couldn't hear. "You don't think she'd willingly give up tormenting you? It's her favourite pastime." Evelinde barely heard her maid. She was too busy trying to absorb what Edda was saying. Part of her feared it was simply a cruel attempt on Edda's part to get her hopes up, then dash them. "And so I chose a husband for you, and the king negotiated a marriage contract," Edda announced grandly. "I have just received a message that 'tis all done. You will be married." Evelinde simply waited, knowing there was more. Edda would either explain it was all a jest, or name some perfectly horrid, smelly old lord that Evelinde would surely be miserable with. "Your betrothed is on his way here from his home even as we speak. He is the Laird of Donnachaidh," she announced triumphantly. Evelinde gasped. This was worse than a smelly old lord. This was the devil of Donnachaidh? Edda's expression was full of evil glee. "Aye, and I wish you all the unhappiness in the world." "Bitch!" Mildred hissed furiously from behind Evelinde. Ignoring her maid, Evelinde managed to force away the horror and dismay and keep her features expressionless. She would not add to Edda's pleasure by revealing how deep this blow had struck. The devil of Donnachaidh? The woman didn't just hate her, she despised her if she was willing to hand her over to that infamous Scottish laird. "Now be gone," Edda said, apparently having had her fun. "I do not wish to look on you any more." Evelinde nodded stiffly and turned, catching Mildred by the arm to lead her out of the great hall and the keep itself. "Cow!" Mildred snapped as soon as the keep doors closed behind them. Evelinde merely urged her quickly across the bailey toward the stables. "Vile, ugly, cruel creature," Mildred continued. "She has a heart of stone and a face to match. The devil must have been laughing the day the king forced your father to marry that she-devil." Evelinde flashed Mac, the stablemaster, a grateful smile when she urged Mildred into the stables and saw her mount saddled and ready next to the reddish-brown roan he favoured. "I saw the smile on Edda's face when she received her message," the stablemaster explained. "I figured you might need a ride when she was done with you." "Aye, thank you, Mac," Evelinde urged Mildred up to the mare. "Your father must be rolling in his grave," the maid snarled as Evelinde boosted her up onto the mount. With a little help from Mac, Evelinde swung herself up onto the horse behind the older woman as she continued her rant. "And your dear sainted mother must be frothing at the mouth, wishing she was still alive so she could tear the wench's hair out one mud-brown strand at a time." Evelinde put her heels to her mare to urge her into a canter, aware Mac had mounted and was following close behind. "I should poison the nasty harpy's mead," Mildred threatened as she rode across the bailey at a sedate canter heading for the gate and drawbridge. "Every single inhabitant of the keep would be grateful for it. She's the most unpleasant, grasping, cold-hearted, mealy-wormed ack." Evelinde smiled faintly at her squawk. They'd reached the halfway point on the